that's what's really behind the scenes here, Ezra. That if the tenet of Marxism is to tear down society and rebuild it as a Marxist utopia, which of course never turns out in the real world, what do you make of these diverse interests that would seem contrarian to one another joining in this whole pro-Hamas support fest?
Oh, for sure. I mean, there's nothing crazier than queers for Palestine or whatever. I mean, they would be killed in a second, but that's that critical race theory, that cultural Marxism. They just want to smash Canada, smash the West, smash the Jews, smash the oppressor, and they'll figure the rest out later, maybe. Yeah, it's astonishing. Now, where are the people who should stand up to this? Well, the local member of parliament for this neighborhood is not surprisingly Jewish herself. Her name is Yara Sachs. She is the absolutely awful cabinet minister who stood up in parliament and said, Hong Kong is code for Heil Hitler. Remember this video clip? I can't even believe this is real. Look at this video.
How much vitriol do we have to see of Hong Kong, which is an acronym for Hail Hitler, do we need to see by these protesters on social media?
So where is she? I don't even know if she's in the country, because neither she nor the provincial politician, who is also Jewish, he's a Doug Ford conservative, Kersner is his name. He's actually, I think, the attorney general. So you have two cabinet ministers in that riding who are Jewish, by the way, federal, provincial, and neither of them is doing anything other than tweeting. I'm so upset by this. Anthony Housefather, a Liberal cabinet minister from Montreal, tweeting how outraged he is. But Justin Trudeau, these are his people. He deliberately doesn't speak against them. And I don't know if you remember the name Marco Mendocino, who was briefly famous because during the trucker convoy, he was a public safety minister. He's since been fired from cabinet. But he actually tweeted this. He said, here's 4 laws that these truckers are breaking, including citing some traffic laws. So, okay, I mean, he would know because he talked about sending in tanks against the truckers. I say again, the truckers were completely peaceful. They didn't storm into anyone's house or anyone's building or anyone's mall. They didn't threaten anyone with death. They weren't wearing masks. They weren't saying, get out of here, you Zionist Jews or whatever. And they put the whole country under martial law. And here's a bunch of, and the reason every person I just named is part of the government. So they have the power to do things. How about just enforce the law? How about just pretend that these are, I don't know, kids playing hockey on the road? Okay, move along, kids. You had your fun. Imagine putting out a statement saying, this is very unsafe. So we're going to shut down the bridge and actually arrest anyone who tries to use the bridge. The government has become the enforcer of this weird ghetto. David, it's very upsetting to me. And
Ezra, let me expand on that point. What do you think is behind the lack of enforcement of laws by the police? Is it the police unilaterally standing down? Oh, we don't want to be seen as Islamophobes, for example. Or are there political puppet masters behind the scenes issuing directives and saying, listen, let them do whatever? And obviously they're getting away with it. What do you think is the unspoken strategy here, Ezra?
Well, it's two-tier policing, and we've seen this in other countries too. We've seen this in the United Kingdom. Again, just compare the treatment of the pandemic protesters with this. I think 2 things here work. First of all, remember the city access to a police commission, which is basically associated with the city government. And you have actually, I would call her a communist, just the mayor, Olivia Chow. And, so I think that she would be sympathetic to these Hamas protesters anyways, but she can do the math. She can add it up. There's about 200,000 Jews in the greater Toronto area, and there's probably triple that of Muslim voters, and they can count. That's why Trudeau's doing this. But also, we know in the Toronto police, they have had the DEI, Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Project. So they've been colonized too. And we saw early in this conflict some police who were actually tweeting their support for Hamas. And I don't know if they've been removed from the force, but I believe that the police force itself has been turned into a critical race theory organization. And so they absolutely are taking the political point of view, or Jews are the white oppressors, Muslims, including Muslims who just arrived here weeks ago, are the good guy no matter what. And so shut the Jews down. Who cares? They're the oppressor class here. And the rule of law, well, we have a lot of discretion. I think the police are showing they are not worthy of public support. They are not worthy of respect because they're not acting as neutral, independent professional police. They're acting as political errand boys, not just for the hard left, but for the terrorist left.